Hello YouTube, this is Tracy, and you are going to get to know me a little bit better today. I was watching a video, and it actually just kind of really got to me because I don't want to sound mean, but he sounded ignorant. Simple as that. I know nobody likes trolls, but to me, they probably want. I've never had any, but I'm not a big enough channel to pretty much hardly have anybody. Probably might have some now after this one, and I don't care. If I do, I do. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Trying to make sure this is right. If I had trolls, I probably wouldn't even respond to them. I just click, you're gone. Not worth being upset over. It's not. Yes, everybody is entitled to their own opinions too. But I think sometimes people can be a little too sensitive and not understand things. And I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. And I really wanted to ask the question, what's the poorest you have ever been? What is the poorest you have ever been? Verge of losing your house? Your car? What about when you were first starting out, when you first moved out? No matter how many years ago that was. How was life then? There are people that are surviving. And barely surviving. But they do it. And I want to tell you my story of when I was, cat over here trying to bite me. When year was 2002, 2003, I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant in June of 2002. I had my son in February 2007. I was 7 weeks pregnant when I found out. And we lived basically off of what WIC could give us. My husband's on disability, and it's a good reason for it. There's a good reason for it that I'm not going to share. But back then, he was only getting a few hundred, much less than what he's getting now. I think he was only getting about $500 and some dollars. Luckily, that's a little bit higher now because of the increases since then. And we use his money to pay the mortgage and to pay the utilities. And that's pretty much what his money goes for nowadays. So unless for some reason we lose that SSI, which the government is a scary thing, and there's a lot in this world that you don't know, that if you're not awake to, you need to see. I am a Christian and proud of it. And I know what that means living in the world that I'm living today. And I'm going to post somebody's link up. Her name is Lisa Haven, and I think she's a good source because even though I don't know how to do it, basically what I'm talking about is the little screen share and see what shows up on the videos. because I just got my little movie maker that was on the camera. I don't know if I need a program or whatnot to make my little thing show up at the very bottom of the screen, and the whole other screen is the page that I'm showing you. I don't know how to do that. I tried figuring it out. I gave up. But to be so poor that everything that you have is going for bills, and back then we didn't even have enough money to pay all the bills. We were getting WIC, and we were getting $10 on our food stamp card. Because I worked for a place that, and by the way, nobody wants to hire you when you're pregnant. It doesn't happen. I tried looking for a second job then. Nobody wants to hire you when you're pregnant. And I really hope that's different in your areas. I really hope that's different for you guys. And I know that could be considered discrimination, but they're not going to say that, and they'll say they're not hiring you for another reason. So their asses are covered. But I never could get a second job while I was pregnant. And to be honest with you, I couldn't have worked it the entire time anyway, because I was diagnosed with preeclampsia, and I was having major blood pressure issues during my pregnancy. So it kind of got impossible to work. I was working for a grocery store, a unionized grocery store. And the thing with unions is that they don't need to ask that person's permission to take their hours. They just gotta let management know. Isn't that a lovely thing? I go in, I seen that I had 8 hours one time, and everybody below me had quit because nobody was getting hours. They literally just quit. I stuck around. I enjoyed the job then. I enjoyed cashiering for a grocery store. I did. I enjoyed it. For a while I did switch to bagger just because I knew I could get 40 hours. It was a pay cut, 50-cent pay cut. But I got more hours, so I made more money. So to me, I guess that wasn't a pay cut. But it got to the point that I wanted to go back to cashiering again, even though I wasn't going to get the hours. And the thing with DHS, and maybe they've changed it by now, like I said, this was 2002. This was also Ohio. They don't go by if you get 0 hours. So the funny part is that, let's say somebody went on vacation. Guess what? I got their hours for the week. The rest of the time, I was getting 0 hours. So, let's say out of a 1 month period, and it did happen. 0, 0, 24 hours, 0 hours. That's the week that I was going to go see my caseworker at DHS. And don't look down on people for being on assistance, for being on SSI, for being on food stamps. There are people out there who really need it. And trust me, I needed it back then. I was getting $10 on food stamps because what they would do is they wouldn't go 0, 0, 24, 0, and oh, I got 24 hours for the month. They would go, no, we can't count the zeros. It would have been better off if they would have scheduled me 4 hours for the week. Just 4 hours for the week. I would have gotten a better deal. Instead, they took that 24 hours and they times it by 4. That's not what I was working, but that's what they said I was working. So I was getting $10 a month on food stamps. $10 doesn't buy you shit. I was dealing with WIC. There was a car that was parked in our parking lot when we were living in the apartment complex. They had these ports and each port had a number, the apartment number on it. Okay? And there was a car parked there, and we wanted to ask around, so we asked our neighbors to make sure it wasn't none of theirs because we didn't want to call the cops if it was one of theirs. We never really got close to the car. We never really walked up to it. We didn't have a car. I still don't have a car. And I will tell you about that a little later. But basically, after we got the confirmation, which was about 3 or 4 days, we decided to just go to the car and actually take a good look at it. No doubt it was stolen by them. The steering wheel console ripped apart. You can see the wires. You can see the wires underneath the dash of the steering wheel column all hanging out. The make of the car, that metal piece that tells what it is, ripped off. So we called the cops. Cops came out, ran the plate. Sure enough, it was a stolen vehicle. They called the owners. The owners were waiting on the insurance company. The insurance company had been calling them, asking them, had they found the car yet? Because until they found the car, they can't claim nothing from the insurance. And they came, and the guy was an ALC seal thing. The car was totaled. He took his decals, his Navy SEAL decals, out of the vehicle, off the window, saved those. But the car was totaled. They had it towed away. But they were so thankful for me because now they can go through with their insurance claim. And they're like, if we had more, we would give it to you. And they handed me a $20 bill. During a time when my husband's money was going to pay bills and we couldn't spend it on food, we had the $10 and we had WIC, and we just got this $20. So I went to the store and we bought bread, and we bought 25-cent boxes of macaroni and cheese, which have gone up in price now because now they're like 44 cents for the real cheap ass kind. I'm not even talking store brand. I'm talking their other kind. Like if you have a Kroger's, how they have Kroger brand, but they also had that. I don't like their new version of it. It's like psst or whatever, PSSSSTE. But I still call it FMV for maximum value. And that's the stuff that I buy. Why? Because that's what it was. But this store was a Spartan store, and it was their Spartan stuff. But we took that $20, and me and my husband ate for a week. Probably wasn't the best stuff. We couldn't get meat. Meat was too expensive. But we needed food to last us for the week, and we managed to make that with $20. And I'm not proud of the fact that I had to do that, but I am proud of the fact that I survived it. I am very proud of the fact that I survived it. Eventually, what ended up happening was I had my doctor write me a note when I started having problems during my pregnancy. Explained to him what was going on at work. And he wrote me a note, but he didn't exactly say that I couldn't work. So I had to explain to my boss, and I go, you see how many restrictions they have on me? I go, you guys aren't really giving me hours, and if you guys just took me off the schedule, write a note so I could take it to my caseworker, I can make that $10 in food stamps go up to over $200, and they did. It went up to $236. So now at least we had food. And of course, since it didn't say that I couldn't work, I had to go volunteer once a week at a place that was a 45-minute walk away. Sometimes I took the bus. They gave me money for a bus. They gave me about $30, and instead of buying a pass, I took some of that money because I only needed it 3 days a week, 3 days out of the month. Okay. And they took and they would send me this. We would use a little bit of money for that, but we would also use it for the bus. I just didn't buy a pass with it. I just used it on the days that I actually needed to take the bus. And then the rest of the money went to help me out. I don't know if I was wrong in doing that, but that money went for food. Food that we didn't have at the time. You guys know what it's like not to be able to know exactly where your next meal's coming from, even if it's just dinner that night. It's just what some people go through. And I hear standard of living. My dad said that to me one time. I told him, Dad, you'd be surprised at how much money you could live off of. You don't really need all that much. And he's like, yeah, but there's a standard of living that we're used to. Yeah, standard of living. My standard of living? Here it is. Barely surviving. I got an interview with the department store. Hoping I can get a few hours, at least for the season. It'll help me out when I go to do my taxes, because it'll be the first W-2 I've had in a couple of years. Give me some money for the holiday season. There's a Goodwill right there. I want money so I can go to Goodwill and thrift, because what I'm pulling in over here is not making it. I'm putting my shit off at 75% off. I just sold a Ralph Lauren shirt for $5 plus $6 shipping. I need another $3 plus shipping so I can ship out that. I need $3 plus another thing of shipping so I can refund the lady who has a return, and I don't want to have to pay for a return label. So for the sake of doing that, because I don't want to pay extra, because I'm trying to come up with the money just to pay her for the regular thing, which is $19.35. And I haven't even responded to it yet just because I don't have it. $3 what I need. There's something else is there, and I don't charge free shipping. Because the way my prices are, $5 for a Ralph Lauren polo shirt. Purple and yellow striped shirt. Yep, right? You see behind me that I need to pack up. I just sold that for $5. But still a little bit of profit. Not a huge one. I either paid $1, $2, or $4 for that shirt. I do not pay more than $4 for anything I buy in the thrift store. Anything. I don't spend more than $4 on. Yeah, I pretty much just made my money back. If it was $4. If it was $1, then I made a couple bucks. If it was $2, yeah. It is what it is. Trying to recoup my money. I gotta get this shit packed up really fast. Waiting on another cha-ching. I sold that for 75% off. I had that at $14.99 plus shipping. I just sold that for 75% off. Why? Because I need sales to come in. And I'm giving my shit away. Hey, and if you happen to know my eBay ID and you want to snipe shit off of me, I welcome it. Go for it. You think you can make more money off of my crap than I can? Go for it. I don't care. I'm just trying to make the money that I'm trying to make right now. Sometimes that's some bad buys that I'm not going to get my money back out of, but there's been profitable items that I've made money back on, so it doesn't matter if I lose some stuff. One thing I learned from watching all these groups. that sometimes it doesn't matter. You're just trying to recoup whatever you can, and that's okay. That's okay to be doing what you need to do to survive. And the point I want to make with making all my videos, and yes, you're going to see me struggle. You're going to see me fall. But you're always going to see me get back up. I might get pushed down, knocked down, but I'm not staying down. I might be barely surviving, but at least I'm surviving. There are people out there that are homeless. And you gotta know the difference between somebody who's pushing for drugs and somebody who's homeless. For starters, if they're just standing out there with a sign, I've seen a video, but I'm not gonna post a link to it. I will post a link to some of the other ones. But and he's like, well, I've seen this, and he gave us $600, but it was to somebody who was a freaking drugger. You gotta know the difference. I bet you when these people are going around with these videos and helping people out, they can spot the difference. You don't see them doing that, going out and the thing. You see them helping out. You know, you see people who are digging through trash that they're helping out. You see people who are walking with shopping carts and buy a bunch of stuff, sleeping just in the middle of the street. That's the people that you see helping out. If you know somebody is truly homeless, and you can tell a drug addict, one, by the way they act, two, by the way they look, depending on exactly which drug. Now, I will let you know right now that I am a medical marijuana patient, and I don't find marijuana to be a drug at all. I actually do not drink alcohol. Alcoholism runs in my family, so I don't drink. I used to. I kind of grew out of the taste. I don't drink anymore. Maybe one or two socially, but the hangover's not worth it to me. I'm a Michigan medical marijuana patient. And I have lower back issues. And to be able to get my card, right now I don't know how other states have theirs out and what their process is, but Michigan, every 2 years you go and you have to have a doctor's referral. And they need paperwork for it. And there are certain doctors that they won't take referrals from unless they happen to be your family care physician. Just because their reputation is just not where it needs to be as far as that's concerned. But I found a place that does this, but they need certain medical records, but I had to take, and that was a pain in the butt because I had to go all the way down to McLaren Hospital to get my medical records. Because back in 2006, when I was unloading a truck at Target, when I was being a seasonal help worker there, I twisted my back, and now I currently have back problems. I have muscle spasms, I can feel it pulling, and it honestly hurts when I bend. It honestly hurts when I bend. And I'm out of commission. Now the weed, marijuana, it does help. And that's part of my medicine that I had to buy. And right now I do have somebody who wants me to be their patient and switch, because I got a dispensary doing it, and it goes from one person at the dispensary to the other. And she wants me to do it for wants me to be the patient for a couple of reasons. She wants to get to have a better, closer relationship with me. I've known her for a couple of years, really nice lady. She wants me to do some consignment on eBay for her. Now, I've never done consignment. I've always liked the idea of just prepaying for the items from somebody and then just selling and making the profit myself and not having to worry about going back and stuff like that. But she wants to be my caregiver. and she wants me to sell some stuff for her because she's tired of people stealing it from her. She has, I guess, vintage clothing. She said baseball cards, but I'm not sure exactly how much those are going to be worth. I told her I would have to look everything up. They used to own a business, a construction business, and excavation. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. And she has major equipment from there that she wants me to sell. So I'm thinking that we're gonna do this consignment. So I'm gonna get a portion of it, and I honestly don't know how much I should even charge her. Maybe I should do. She's like, well, I don't even know how shipping works. I go, well, buyer's gonna pay shipping. In my case, buyer pays shipping. I don't really care. I'm thinking 50-50. And I know others have gone 70-30, 60-40. But my price is not going to include the shipping because I definitely want my shipping discount. And I think that should be mine. And I think if people go 60-40, they tend to add it with shipping, or they do free shipping. And I don't really want to go that route, and I don't know if we can do 50-50. I guess it depends on the item. I haven't looked any of it up yet because I don't know exactly what it is, but that's going to give me more inventory. That's going to give me a portion of the money, and maybe her stuff will sell better than my stuff. And maybe me by listing her stuff on my account and doing it by a commission sale, it'll help my other stuff to sell. And maybe I can get myself out of the hole, because if I had inventory consistently coming in, and good inventory and not bull crap, not me going out and being like, okay, we need to go dumpster things, and figuring out what we can pull out of the trash that we can sell. And there's nothing wrong with it if you do it. I think that's great. I tried looking at the free stuff on Craigslist. Unfortunately, my Craigslist, it's just not all it's going to be. Yeah, stuff. You quit. My phone has been acting up. I did the S voice thing by accident. Now I can't even get my fucking phone to turn on. Lovely. Shit. Can't even turn it on. I don't know if you can even see the crack in it or not. And it vibrates in my hand when it's doing stupid shit. Battery, put it back in. Try this bullshit again. But if anybody knows how to fix this, that would be great if they could tell me. I've had some people try to tell me, they're like, well, go in and just turn it off through the app. Well, it opens up the app, and I asked it to, to stop it. They said, okay, cancel, but guess what? I think maybe we got Siri to shut up, because she was saying everything, every little move on here she was saying. Like eBay, Pinterest, Facebook. And I'm hoping I can show you, but I have the double tap stuff now. I can't just slide my phone. You see, my screen even stays dark. You don't even see the Samsung. You hear it, but you don't see it. And I don't know how to fix them. I guess I don't have a phone. I can't afford this shit. So, Samsung Galaxy S3. Fuck, the S2 was better. I got a cracked screen the second day. Fuck, you know, my brother took and threw my S2 at the wall, put a hole in his wall, and didn't break my phone. And took it out of the case when he did that. See, okay, there. Now we got the Samsung Galaxy S2. Yeah. See, now the screen's turning on. Yeah, this little Android bullcrap. But, okay, so, I gotta get to where the camera is. Okay. Alright, you see that? And you see what it says at the bottom? It says double tap and then swipe. Tap, 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 tap. Trying to get it off the damn screen. Suppose if I hit the home button. Power saving mode enabled. Is that my problem? Is it not the S voice? Okay. You see, I have to see the yellow box around it? Oh, see the yellow box around it? That's what it does. And it freezes. Sometimes I can get my screen to open, but I can't slide it. When I'm in Facebook. I can't scroll up. My phone has become completely useless to me. And I can't replace it. But that's just the way things go sometimes. So I'm gonna have to wait. Really could use another cha-ching. I got a return that I need to refund. She wants me to pay for return shipping. I think I'm just gonna refund the money and just freaking let her keep the item. She can Goodwill it, throw it away, do whatever the frick she wants with it. Just because I don't want to pay return shipping back, because I can't afford to pay return shipping back. That means I'm gonna have to come up with another $9 on top of that at the most. Not worth it to me. Not worth it to me for a $10 fucking item. Not worth it. She can keep it and throw it away for that price. I don't care. I need $3 more to pay her back. And I got, that was a mistake. At one point I had about $50 in my account. We didn't have anything here. It was late at night. I didn't feel like having my husband walk all the way up to Kroger's, which, by the way, he normally has a bike and a cart. Cart has gone to crap now. His bike, his back wheel, his tire is shredded. He says he has a tube, but the tire itself is shredded, and he needs a new tire. So we just kind of keep an eye out for if anybody's throwing any bikes away, especially a 26-inch rim, so we can take the tire off of it so he can have a tire. Because right now he's walking to Kroger's. He walked to Myers, which, by the way, you go up, and about a half hour later you're at Dart. About another half hour later you're at Center, and this is walking. And Myers is on Center. And I had to send him up to Myers because that's the only place that I can get my ink cartridge for my stupid Canon printer. That cost me $35, and it's amazing how many freaking ink. I don't even buy the tricolor packages anymore. I want to buy a laser printer. Only time I ever used one was when I was working in a cash office, and I never had to do the toner. So, to be honest with you, I hope I know how to change it. I hope it's easy enough to change the toner and install it and stuff, because I've never done that. Eventually I would like a laser printer. Right now, I'm worrying about an inkjet that I have to consistently keep paying. I have a mistake from Pizza Hut because they thought my husband said 3 pizzas instead of 2, and now and we ordered some breadsticks with it and hot and ready's, and instead of they messed up and my husband didn't catch it. He let them ring it through with the 3 pizzas and the 2, and then of course he doesn't have his phone with him. He never takes it with him. And what he did was he had them void out the order and then ring it up. So now I got over $20, which by the way, if it would clear, because they told me it would be, I talked to Little Caesars and they told me it would be 48 hours. It has been longer than that. This was on the 30th. Today is the 3rd. And they told me it would be 48 hours and the money's still pending. Now the one sale that it actually was supposed to go through for the cheaper sale has already cleared, already out. The other one says pending. And maybe I should just call PayPal. But my phone's being retarded. And I don't know what I freaking did to it. Okay, there. I got that open. Double tap. That's such a stupid bullshit. Double tap. Double tap. Come on. Double tap. Hold on. No, not freaking camera. I can't do crap because it wants me to double tap and then slide down. I can't scroll. I can't do nothing. My phone is completely useless. And I'm supposed to be getting a hold of somebody about working a haunted house. And I don't really get money, but I do get weed. And I'm a medical marijuana patient. So that's awesome. By the way, I am appreciative that anyone has ever helped me out before. And as far as people who say, why don't you go out and ask for something free with your neighbors and see if they'll do it? Well, not if you go up with an ignorant ass attitude. No one's going to help you. But for people who are truly hurting, trust me, your neighbors help. That's what neighbors are for. Could you imagine it back in the 1800s? Neighbors were your friends. You helped out your community. You didn't go running to the freaking federal government for help. Your community helped you. And there's just so much that's going on in the world that you guys just don't realize. And I'm going to post a link to Lisa Haven. She explains a lot. She shows sources, web pages and stuff. And I'm Christian and I'm proud of it. I'm proud to be counted as a child of God. I'm not ashamed to admit that. And I know what that means in the world. That's what it's becoming today. Don't, just be careful who you trust. And don't think because, oh, they want to do this and they want to do that, they are taking away our freedoms. Slowly but surely, they're taking away our freedoms. The constitutions, the Bill of Rights, the amendments. They ain't gonna mean shit if martial law happens. And yes, I am very passionate about that too. And I could go into a whole spill about that too. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. But I will post a link to Lisa Haven's channel. And I encourage you guys to watch it. And see what she has to say. She talks about vaccines. She talks about what's going on. She does give it a biblical perspective. But even if you're not Christian, you're not religious, even if you're anti-government, anonymous. We're all anonymous, right? We're going to. This world is just. It's turning into something that's not good. but it's gonna take place. It's gonna happen. And all we can do is survive. Basically, I hope you guys get my point. One, neighbors do help out neighbors. Nobody wants to be in poverty. And I am not asking for help from myself. Unless you know how to get this freaking yellow bar thing and my phone unfroze to get it working back to normal. If you can explain that, I mean, somebody told me, well, make something highlight in yellow and then click the little button at the bottom right here 4 or 5 times until it goes away. Now, for some reason, we got Siri to stop talking to us. But she was saying everything and pissing me off, but I still can't use my phone to scroll through, and it's extremely difficult to use now. So, you know how to fix that problem? Let me know. Tell me what you think. You hate me? You like me? I'm not sure if it really matters. You think I'm bullshitting? If you can figure out who I am on Facebook, come on. Message me. But only do it if you're sincere. I will not deal with cocky. I will not deal with rude, sarcastic. You want to be mean, I will block your ass. I won't even say nothing, I'll just block you. Because you're not worth it if you do that. I mean, I've been called so many things. I think it's funny. The last time somebody yelled something out of the car to me, it was white trash. Because I was carrying 2 Goodwill bags off the bus hanging with my husband. Yeah, if you only knew what I really did with them. I'm white trash because I'm poor, then fine, I'm white trash. I don't like to think of myself as poor. I like to think of myself as barely surviving, and I know there are people out there that are worse than I am. There are so many people that are out there worse than I am. It feels so good to do something for somebody else. And I'm not asking help for myself. I'm not. It's nice, and I'm grateful to anybody who does help. But if I can make $1,500, $2,000 in a month, then I want to. If you want to be honest and sincere, you really want to try to get to know me, because trust me, I don't have very many friends. Yeah, you might look at my profile and see that I have 1,300 on Facebook, but a lot of those are gamers. Some of them are family. A lot of them are high schoolers that people I knew in high school. And then there are some just random ass people because I just apparently just add anybody. I'm a little more picky about that now, but don't just message me and say hi. I am not a small talk person at all. When I message somebody, I have a purpose to it. I say exactly what I want to say to them. I don't do small talk. You say hi and how's the weather going and stuff like that, and try to make small talk. I freeze up. I smile and I nod. And that's if I can barely hear that's if I can hear what you're saying, because I am a miracle baby. I was born dead with the umbilical cord around my neck, left arm over my head, partially deaf in my left ear, but I do not wear a hearing aid. I can hear high pitch and low pitch perfectly. It's a normal sound, like the voice levels that I have a hard time hearing. I am a lip reader. I have perfect hearing in my right. My left arm was paralyzed for 2 weeks. I am now left-handed. I was dead for 4 minutes before they brought me back. And the doctor told my parents that I had a 70% chance of being so mentally retarded that I would have to be put into an institution. I had 2 seizures the first day I was born. They gave me some medication for them. When I was 12 years old, they found out it led to learning disabilities. Because of the medication that they had to give me to stop my seizures. And that's the only time I've ever had a seizure. in my life is the first day I was born. I spent weeks in the hospital, a couple weeks at least. Don't really know how long, but the doctor had the audacity to say to my parents that that whole 70% chance of being so mentally retarded she would have to be in an institution. I seen that doctor. Me and my mom did when I was 15 years old. We were inside of Kessel's at the time. I think it was Kessel's before I switched Kroger's. And we were doing some grocery shopping, and there was a guy that came over, gave my mom a dirty look. She gave him a dirty look. Of course, I don't know who this guy is. I'm 15. I say something to my mom. This guy just turns around and just kind of looks at me, and my mom looks at him and says, "Yeah, you were wrong, weren't you?" Guy just walks off. My mom turns around. We continue to do our shopping. And I go, "Who was that?" And she's like, "That was the doctor who delivered you." That was the doctor who delivered you. I am a miracle baby. I have been through some stuff in my life. I've never had a broken bone. Even being hit by a car, the last time was major. I hit the roof of the car. I was coming out of work. I was working for AJ Wright at the time. I just got done stocking all the shoes. Managed to get every single shoe. Nothing left in the back room. I got them all out on the shelf. So proud of myself. I wanted to tell my manager. Found out he was in a conference meeting. Something kept telling me, "Tracy, just go sit down and have a cigarette before you leave. Just sit down and have a cigarette." Didn't listen. I'm like, "Nah, I just want to get home. I got someone telling me to have a cigarette, man. I just want to get home." There was a car pulling in. I was not at a crosswalk. I was in the South Flint Plaza, and I was coming out. They had like a couple of entrances into the parking lot over there, and I was at the very last entrance before the apartments. And I was waiting across the street, and there was a car turning in, so I didn't want to get in front of him, so I got behind him. So I'm standing on the double yellow line in the middle of the road. I waited there through 3 lights. Okay. And by the time the cars got up there, they were all lined up and I couldn't go, or the light was a fast changer, and I don't know, it seemed like 3 lights to me. It seemed like I was standing there for a while. And I thought I had an opening. Thought they were all the way down by the school, and I guess they were closer, either that or they were speeding. I don't know. But I decided, well, I'm just going to make a run for it. And I got slammed by the car. I hit the roof, broke the windshield, went over the car, onto my stomach, onto the pavement. Did not break one bone. I developed a hematoma in my leg that had to be surgically removed. They said 6 to 8 weeks to heal. It took over a year and a half because I have water in my legs that wanted to escape out of that hole. And by the way, the hole was 8 centimeters long by 4 centimeters wide by 4 centimeters deep. I had a nurse come in and pack my wound. They could not close it up. And by the way, if you don't know what a hematoma is, it is a pool of blood that gels. And it was in my leg from being hit. And I currently have a dent in my leg from it. But that took over a year and a half, and I ended up having to go to the wound clinic. And that's when they discovered the problem with my legs. And I don't use it as much as I should. I should be actually using it, I think, like 4 times a day. I pull it out like maybe once a month if my legs are hurting. I had the vein closures down in my legs. And I have a lymphedemic problem where I had just too much fluid in my legs. So that fluid was escaping out of that hole. And it was preventing it from closing. And it took a year and a half of me going to the wound clinic to get that thing. So, yeah. I'm tough. hit by a car, tough. That's just where I'm at. So if I could just say anything, be kind. I'm not asking help for myself. Unless you know how to fix this stupid problem. I mean, as far as neighbors helping neighbors, I don't know if I covered this. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself on it. I've had to do this a couple of times. But people talk about standard of living and stuff like that. I just want enough money to survive and be happy. If I have a little bit extra left over, I wouldn't mind helping somebody out because I know what it's like to be struggling. And I don't want people to go through that. I don't want people to go through that. I don't want people to be in the position I'm in, or the position I used to be in, or out homeless. I'm not out for helping addicts, especially addicts who are your own family that do nothing but use you and only seem to come in your life when they want something. But yet I gotta deal with that every once in a while. I want to help out somebody who's truly less fortunate, and I wish I could afford to do it. Maybe one day God will bless me enough that I can. I'm going to post some videos. Hopefully, I'm going to give you Lisa Haven's website. Maybe open your eyes to what this world has become. And I'm going to do some of the social experiment things that I looked up. And I'm going to post those. And did I talk about the lawnmower thing? Not sure if I did. But as far as neighbors helping neighbors, I don't want to call nobody out by name, but I don't exactly want to say exactly what he said because I don't want us to make it sound bad because I know he's not a bad person. I think he just a little misunderstood and misunderstands things. But yeah, go out in the street and see if your neighbors just go ask for something free because nothing is actually free. You know what? Maybe nothing's actually free, but it doesn't mean that you can't give something to somebody who needs it. A random act of kindness. And I'm talking more than just paying for the next person's order behind you in Starbucks, because that's something small. Do something that makes a difference. Help somebody out who really needs it. Help that homeless person out that's always begging for change, but you know it's not a drug addict. And you can tell by the way they act and by the way they look. And somebody who's sincere. I'm gonna have to end this before the hour's up. We're at 53 minutes. Basically, I'm just gonna tell you about the lawnmower. I'm not sure if I'm repeating myself or not, but we've had bad luck for the lawnmower this year. We had one at the beginning of the year. Something went bad. I traded my brother for his because my brother's a mechanic. He can work on some stuff. That one went bad. Got on Facebook and I traded a Stanley socket and wrench that was missing a few pieces. And the old lawnmower Jason gave me, my brother gave me, for that. And the guy said that he would give me a 3-month warranty. 2 weeks later, when the lawnmower broke, he didn't show up. I got that guy blocked now. My dad and my stepmom were going to help me out, and I really appreciate their effort, but they got screwed over. They traded the rototiller, and of course, there goes the broken lawnmower again. So now we don't even have a lawnmower that we can fix. And the guy screwed him over. They said the guy, apparently it's just not going to happen. I guess he got the rototiller and he got the lawnmower, and we didn't get a lawnmower and replaced. And now it's up to me to replace the lawnmower. Yeah, that ain't happening. Not now. We're weed whipping the yard. That's what we're doing. We're weed whipping the backyard. And as far as neighbors helping neighbors, we are having a neighbor right now that her son, when he's mowing her lawn, comes over with a riding lawnmower and cuts our front. We're still weed whipping our back, but he's cutting our front with his lawnmower because he knows that we don't have it, which completely sucks because my husband being on disability the way that he is, I mean, I'm the only one that really can go out and get a job and need to do it, but he can go out and do lawn jobs and stuff, and now we don't even have a lawnmower, so he can make $20, $25 a pop depending on who the person was, old customers to new. So now we can't even do that, and he has one lady that's a complete regular, you know, and he can't even do that because we don't have a lawnmower. But it is what it is. And I hope that you guys can get some understanding out of everything that is going on. Just think of people who are less fortunate than yourselves. Try not to be so judgmental. Don't look down on people because they're poor. These people don't want to be. I don't want to be. And for me to be rich in life, I just need enough money to pay my bills, and I'll go help other people out. I'm not trying to be this $1 million seller. I'm just trying to make it. And the point of me making these videos is because if there is anybody else like this out there like me, and I can go from where I am now to making $1,500, $2,000 a month, which is where I would like to be happy at, then that's what I want to do. I know this one guy who is homeless. He goes around saying Jesus loves you. And yes, Jesus does love you. I would like to help him out one day, if I could afford to. But I don't want to give my money to nobody. It's not all about me just becoming richer and see how rich that I can get. That's not my goal. And if you want to do free advice and give out all your free advice and whatever, that's fine for you. I'll be doing that too. I'll definitely be doing some free advice because I'm not going to charge people. And if you want to charge people, that's your prerogative. But just know that if you're charging people, they should expect a higher thing of service than people who get their information for free. And I don't see anything wrong with either or. It's your prerogative. Do what you want to do. But don't put anybody down for their opinions. Because maybe some people aren't attacking. They're just trying to explain their side. And I hope I did. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And this will probably be the longest one I'll ever do. Well, have a good day, YouTube.